Hello friends, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to take one more important topic in the unit of torsion. That topic name is statically indeterminate shaft. In the earlier video lecture, we have studied that all the shafts are determinate, means that are constrained and that supports are at one end and there is a torque which is applied at the other end. At that time, there is a twisting or the torsional movement is created, and because of that there is a torsional deformation into the shaft, so that we have solved, and their shear stresses, whatever the shear stresses develop into their section in the longitudinal section, we have already determined in the determinate type of the shaft. So in this particular topic we are going to study that statically indeterminate shaft. So first of all, the statically indeterminate means when the torsional members are constrained or fixed by two supports are called as a statically indeterminate shaft. Whenever there is a member is there which is constrained by both of these ends, or which is fixed or constrained by both of these ends, at that time that particular shaft, it is called as the statically indeterminate shaft. So here in this particular slide you can see that there is a shaft is there, and which that is shaft is AB shaft. At the center there is a torque which is applied, that total torque which is applied, which is a combination of the torque at both of these end. So and the both of these ends of these shafts are constrained, so are fixed. So that's why this particular shaft can be solved, or the shaft consider like a indeterminate shaft. So let consider a shaft fixed at both of these ends subjected to torque at end A and end B. To finding out the torsional movement at each fixed end A and B as shown in figure. So we are going to, for this particular statically indeterminate shaft, our job is to finding out the torque which is applied at end A and end B. So and there is a maybe a total torque at this particular end or this particular center is maybe given. So total torque at this particular center is at C is equal to, this is a capital T, that is the total torque applied, and that total torque which is the combination of torque at end A and torque at end B. So that's why total torque at C point which is equal to TA plus TB. So total torque T is equal to TA plus TB, and in this case the angle of twist is equal for both of these members. Suppose at this is the center, or this is one point in the shaft, so it makes the two portion. One portion is the AC portion and another portion is the BC portion. At that time the angle of twist in both of these portions are equal, means theta CA is equal to theta CB. So that is one of the condition here in this indeterminate shaft. So angle of twist in each member is equal and opposite, so that whenever there is angle of twist is in the or torsional moment, torsional deformation is clockwise in the AC member, at that time that torsional deformation of that angle of twist is anti-clockwise in the BC. But both of these angle of twist or that theta value are equal for both of these portion AC and BC. So that you have to remember here, that angle of twist in each member is equal but in the opposite direction. So let us take one problem onto this statically indeterminate shaft. So here it is, you have to remember that total torque is can be determined by torque at both of these ends. So first of all I will read the problem. A bar of a length 1000 mm and diameter 60 mm is centrally bore for 400 mm, the bore diameter being 30 mm as shown in figure. If the two ends are fixed and is subjected to torque of 2 kilonewton, so as shown in figure, find the maximum stresses developed in the portion. So actually this is a problem of statically indeterminate shaft. In this shaft you can see that there are two types of the shafts are built or sleeves with each other. The outer, that is a one type of the shaft, one shaft is for 60 mm diameter, and another smaller shaft is inserted or it is sleeve at the other end, which is of a diameter 30, and the torque, that is a torque which is applied at the middle of the shaft is 2 kilonewton meter. So there is a torque is applied at one end, there is a distance is 600, and at other end there is a 400 mm. So in this particular, T1 will be the torque resisted by the portion AB. So for the AB portion, the T1 will be the torque resisted, and for this particular region, suppose that BC region is there, so in this particular region that torque is T2, which is resisted by the portion BC. So for the simplicity, we have bifurcated this total shaft into two portion. One is the AB portion and another is the BC portion. So you can easily understand here that for the AB portion there is a torque applied at both of these ends, and this particular length of the shaft is 600, and for BC portion there is a torque resisted is or torque applied is T2 at both of these ends. So in this case you can easily analyze that how much or what type of the torque which is resisted at both of these ends. So our job is finding out the maximum stresses developed in the two portion. Means we have to finding out the tau for AB portion and tau for the BC portion. Means how much shear stress is resisted by the AB and how much shear stress is resisted by the BC. So that's why this figure you must have to draw for determining the shear stresses developed for both of these regions. So let us try to solve this problem. First of all, for shaft BC, means we have divided this total shaft into two portions. One is the BC and another is the AB. So for the BC, suppose the length is 400 mm. Actually there are smaller diameter of the shaft is inserted, which is of a 30 mm diameter. That's why that it is behaves like a hollow shaft. So that is the outer, suppose the 60 mm diameter is there, and this smaller diameter shaft is inserted or sleeve, that is a 30 mm. So in this case we have to finding out that T2, that is a torque at the BC portion, torque applied at the BC portion. So as like a hollow shaft, polar moment of inertia formula becomes like this: pi by 32 into external diameter raised to 4 and internal diameter. So external diameter is 60 raised to 4 and internal diameter is 30 raised to 4. So you can solve this and you can find this polar moment of inertia about longitudinal axis. And in the case 2, for shaft B, there is no hollow, there is a single shaft is there. That's why there is only one D, that diameter is 60 mm and the length is 600 mm. So in this case we will find that T1, that is a torque at AB portion. So in this case the polar moment of inertia we can easily find by pi by 32 into D raised to 4. So D in this case is 60 raised to 4. So after solving you will get this polar moment of inertia for this region also. As the shaft is fixed at both the ends, for considering that theta 1 and theta 2. So whenever there is an indeterminate structure, that in this case the shaft is fixed or constrained at both of these ends. At that time your angle of twist at both of these shaft or both of these portion are equal but in opposite nature. So relation of shaft at B in portion AB. So first of all the relation of the shaft at B in a portion of AB. So in this case the angle of twist, that formula from the torsional equation we will get easily. So theta 1 is equal to TL divided by GJ. So here T1 it is a torque applied at that portion, L1 is the length of that portion, G is the modulus of rigidity, and J1 is the polar moment of inertia. So in this case there is a unknown is T1 because torque is not there. So length is given for the for that portion. G is also not given, and I think J. So J1 is the polar moment of inertia, and relation of shaft at B and for the portion B, same formula is used here. So T2 is unknown and G is also. So that J1 is J2 is already be determined, polar moment of inertia, and length of that shaft is also known. But in this case we knows that theta are same, thetas are equal, that is angle of twist are equal but in opposite nature. So you can use this and equal both of these equation, theta 1 and theta 2. You will get like this. So G modulus of rigidity is same again for both of these portion. So T1 will get the relation T1 is equal to 0.771 T2. So this is equation number 1. As we are knowing that the total torque applied, which is also given for the shaft, it is a 2 into 10 raised to 6 Newton meter. So T1 for region BC and T2 for region AC. So that summation of both of this torque is equal to total torque, and the total torque value is given. So if you put that value of here, so T1 is equal to 2 into 10 raised to 6 minus T2. So this is equation number 2. So from this total torque, we will get this equation number 2. So earlier equation number 1 is there and equation number 2. After solving this two equation simultaneously, we will get the value of T2, which is of 1.1688 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. And after putting that T2 in the any one of the equation, we will get the T1 value 0.83117 into 10 raised to 6 Newton into mm. So from this equation, because already we have used that torsional equation, as we know that the angle of twist are same for both of these, so equalize both of these equation and forming that equation in terms of the torque for both the portion, and this equation we already knows that the total torque is a summation of torque at one end and torque at other end. So after solving this, we will get the T1 and T2. And maximum stress in the portion of AB, so again same equation, torsional equation, we will use T1 divided by J1 divided by tau divided by R. So we have to determine the tau, means T1 is already determined, R is known, that is the radius of that shaft, and J is the polar moment of inertia. So in this, after solving this, we will get the value of tau, that is the shear stress developed or resisted by the AB portion. So 19.63 Newton per mm square. So from this you can easily determine. And maximum stress in the BC portion also you can determine by the same formula, that tau T into R divided by J. So T is already determined, R is the radius of that shaft, and J is the polar moment of inertia. So from the same equation you can determine the shear stress resisted by the BC portion, which will be 29.396 Newton per mm square. So that is our objective we fulfill, that from this we have solved this, and we determine that shear stress is developed in both of these portion AB and portion BC. So this is the problem of the statically indeterminate shaft. So like that you can solve some other problem of a different values, and you do the practice for the statically indeterminate shafts also. So that's it here. Thank you very much.